Get some paper and pen. Can you hear me? Maybe it's me. Hold on. Oh.
Greetings.
Greetings, Nina. Can you hear me?
I can. I thought I had the mic on the whole time.
Oh no. How are you?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm doing good. It just took me a while to get in because Google,
Right.
but I'm
Everybody,
here.
everybody saying the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's doing something different.
Greetings, greetings.
Let me go get some paper and pen.
Okay, take your time. We'll get started shortly.
Okay.
You made it in.
I made it.
Google is hating. Google hating today.
I know. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year or spring solstice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Happy spring solstice, everyone. We're gonna give people a couple more minutes. Everybody had a little trouble getting in. Okay. Peace and power. Peace and power. We're gonna get started shortly. We're just letting everybody get a chance to get in. Good seeing y'all beautiful faces, ladies. And just make sure you have a pen and notebook. I got like 3 gardening notebooks. Just right here. Okay. So don't walk with that. Yeah. Because I don't want to shake it again. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Peace and power, everyone. Happy spring solstice. Now, before we get started, I want everybody to introduce themselves. Go first. Well, Pharaoh can go first. Come on, Pharaoh. Hi. Come on here. Introduce yourself. My name is Pharaoh. And what is it that you do here? Help with gardening. You help with gardening? Do you enjoy gardening? You do? Yeah, Pharaoh's a little sad today. We came out, chickens were laying on the ground, and so we don't know what happened, but Snow White is gone. She's no longer with us. We down to 5. Okay. Are you okay? How do you feel about that? Sad for her. You sad for her? Yeah. We're gonna shortly after garden class, we will get Snow White into the ground. She was faithfully our master egg layer. She was laying eggs more than any of the chickens that we own, and so she didn't mind. Some of the other chickens hide their eggs, but not Snow White. She would leave them eggs behind. She didn't really good. What else about Snow White? She, she was saying just like it. He said he don't know how she ended up and we don't know. I thought that it was his target, that a dog or something got a hold of him. Um, yeah, fellas, in there, y'all, pardon me, the wind is blowing. If you know, I do live in a valley area, and so sometimes the wind is blowing very hard. And this is one of those days. I was trying to get us a spot in the sun, but the tech does not like the sun. And so this will be the introduction to gardening class. Gardening will be over in the greenhouse and in the gardening area. We're going to take a tour of that, but we want to go ahead and cross our T's and dot our I's first. And so I am Nina. I am a master gardener, and today we're going to get into preparation. We are going into Aries season, and in Aries season, we want to plant for the new moon. I like to use the moon cycle. They're gonna be fighting. Fighting. Pharaoh said that a lot of people are going to be fighting for Aries season. I hope not, but I did read that for Aries season there will be random bursts of violence. So please be conscious of your surroundings, no matter where you are. And so, in that, do you know what else is coming for Aries season?
What?
I don't know. You got on red. He got on his red today to kick off Aries season. He's right on point. Okay. Okay. And so, Pharaoh will be assisting me. He has been assisting now for 3 classes. And so I told him this gets paid. So he's coming in. He's gonna be working with us part time. We're gonna pay him $10 a Sunday. I told him if he don't work, he don't get paid. Tell everybody hey, and you gonna be in the background.
Hi.
Okay, you gonna see him later?
She's right here.
He'll be helping me bring out the materials. I am on my tree swing. I love this swing, and so this is one of the oldest trees in the yard. It's a beech or birch. Somebody else swing. Hold on. Again, once we start gardening, we're gonna be over there with hands in the dirt. But I brought everything over here because of the tech. Gotta figure it out. Usually, I put it in the greenhouse, but it's on another greenhouse cover. And so I got my gardening notebook, y'all. Y'all ready? I'm so excited. We're going to start off the class like we always do, pulling a card from the Earth Warriors deck, my favorite deck for gardening. And I'm just holding it up, hoping, well, I don't know what the camera is. Okay, so we're going to pull a card. Usually I'll start class with partaking in my herbs. The wind is blowing, so I cannot light it up. So feel free, you all, while I shuffle the deck, to partake in whatever relaxes you. I like to be relaxed when I'm gardening. And usually I'm out here with my music, but not on today because the wind is blowing so hard. Okay. Going super duper hard. We've been having windy days, gusts of about 40 miles per hour. But we're still enjoying it because we done kicked off the spring. This is my favorite time of the year. I've been cracking double yolk eggs, which is a sign of the spring. I've been seeing a lot of people share that they've been running across those same eggs. And so we don't go by the groundhog here. You know, I'm from the South. And what we do is watch nature. When you start seeing those double yolks, you know something is coming. 9 times out of 10, it's the heat. Look, I got garden stuff out of my pocket. I was so ready. I was so ready. All right, so we're going to pull a card from the Earth Warriors deck. And today we pull Aloha Key Akua. Does that make sense? I guess maybe I should turn the other camera on too. So you can't see it from there. Here it is. Is that showing the back of the camera? No. Just stay right here with me. So this is card number 25. So we're gonna go ahead and look it up in the book. I feel good. So let's see if the cards are as ready for the spring as we are. Dang. 25. And I could be pronouncing it wrong. I am from the South, but we pronounce every syllable in your name. And so it's Aloha Ki Akua. Blessings of the Supreme Being. Aloha Ki Akua, the divine is love. The Supreme Being from which all life emanates manifests a blessing. The realm of the heart is the one's love's temple. The realm of the heart is love's temple. When you enter the heart, you gain access to the Great One and to the Mamna, the power, the authority, grace, and magnetism to manifest your divine destiny. Trust in what is meant for you. Surrender doubt and disconnection in favor of love and respect for the Great One. And you shall live your true destiny with joy in your heart. Love can and will conquer all. You're going to get to. Go ahead. You got a 5-minute break. So in a reading, it's showing a blessing is coming to you now. Things do not need to be complicated. When you are confusing yourself with too many variables, too much information, or fear and doubt, focus on filling your heart with love and let everything else go. The Great One will handle all matters in your life if you open your heart to divine guidance and let go with faith. This will not make you passive. Rather, it will allow you to feel inspired to take only the most helpful actions. And this oracle indicates an answered prayer that the divine one has you in situation of concern to you. You are healing and deepening your relationship with the divine. And so that is right on point. We are going into preparing ourselves to plant these seeds. I love Aries season because it is when I think the most solid magical practices will come about. So what we're gonna be working with it's acting up. Let Lisa in. Okay. What we're gonna be working with in these magical practices is parchment paper. And so you can get this anywhere. I get mine from Sam's. And I also use the writer's pens. I got a whole pen set from Five and Below. And so in that is the calligraphy pen. I love writing. And so I purchased those, but you can write with anything on your parchment paper. That is just what I use. I use calligraphy pen and also red dragon's blood ink when I'm working with parchment. And we're going to also be using the bay leaves. I don't know if you have any handy. We'll get into the other herbs we'll be using in this season. But we are going to go ahead and get ready to set some intentions so that next week or over the next couple of weeks, we're going to start planting in the ground for the new moon. And so we want to have those intentions written down and ready because we're going to use that in the garden about manifesting things. And so the first thing we're going to go over are you doing your herbs? Come on. Be trying to get a chair. Be ready. So we're gonna go over herbs. We started this on YouTube. We just go over a herb or two per class just so we can get familiar. And what we do is pick things that are already in the yard. The last herb we went over was the chestnut from the chestnut tree. Give me one of those balls so we can show people what it looks like. And so these balls are very sticky. Now, I guess you would call it a seed. I'm gonna stop playing the ball. And so this is what it looks like. It's green at first. The seeds are in those little holes. And then once they fall to the ground, they open up and the seeds are released. So this is from the chestnut tree. And so this herb or seed, you can use the bark from the tree as well, and also the seeds itself. Now, what you use this for is coughing. If you have a chronic cough, it is good. You can make cough syrup with it. And this is how I go about using a lot of herbs. I'll buy books. This book is the Native American, we know they mean American Indian, Herbalism Encyclopedia. And this is by Tamaya Kawaisenha. But I'll drop the book name in the link once I download and upload the class again. But yeah, this is from the chestnut tree. And so it is, the uses for is, like I said, if you have a cough, this is good for whooping cough or any kind of nagging, distressing cough that you may have. And we see these all around. It's very odd that all of the things that are already on the land is connected to prevention and not curing, but we're going to say healing. We know that the Western medical industry, they only treat, they don't heal. And so that's the difference. Now, this is also good for hiccups, recurrent hiccups, and other irritable and excitable symptoms of the pulmonary organs. And so you can look up pulmonary organs, and I'm pretty sure Google has your back. Now, it says the green or dried leaves should be used. Also, response to I know a lot of you from high priestess class and also the astrology class. And so a lot of us have little ones that sometimes run fever. So fevers respond to the relaxing of the mucus surfaces and the nervous system. So it's also an antispasmodic agent. And like I said, you can take it 1 ounce to 1 pint of boiling water with a 15-minute infusion. And then you take it in a wine glass 3 times a day. So it looks fancy to you while you're getting it down. And then you can also make tinctures or either oils with it. And so that's totally up to you. Where is it at again? I'll show it one more time. What is it? Thank you. Now, you all, for your little ones, Pharaoh will be starting his own YouTube channel where he's going to be out here with his chickens and his toys, and also wherever we may venture off in the car. We're going on adventures. Yesterday, we went out to the botanical gardens. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, what they call it, New Year's Eve. We spent the whole day. There was waterfalls and bugs. It was beautiful.
Then we also went to the grass cut.
And we also went to see the butterflies. We did not get to see the butterflies because by the time we got there, they were sold out. And so in that, walking through Botanical Gardens, there were as many butterflies as we could see. And so it was okay. We do intend on going back just to check out the exhibit because that's what we went for. But if you have a local Botanical Gardens, I know in Atlanta, theirs is beautiful. If you have one in your city or town, go out, especially during the spring because they have a lot of exhibits. It was beautiful. I couldn't believe it. And so that's our herb. That's the chestnut. Now, we're going to get into the introduction to gardening. This season, we want to start out with sprouting our seeds. And so what we're going to be doing, I like taking things from around the house. So as you can see, and I know most of you are vegan, but you can buy these from a farm store. They don't necessarily have to have eggs in them, but we do have eggs, and we reuse these for our chicken's eggs as well. And so these can serve as a miniature greenhouse. Now, I am all for everybody that recycles. All this plastic and stuff, it ends up in the landfills, and you can use these year after year. It can be the big ones or the small ones. It don't matter. But you will put your soil in here, and of course, close it up. Keep it watered. Make sure that the bottom has some holes in it. You don't want your seeds or the soil soggy. And it serves as a miniature greenhouse. It deters other bugs that might be flying around trying to get to your seedlings. But this, I need my that black bucket out the workout room. Well, I don't know if it's black, but bucket with the seed particle. This is one of the many. Now, I want to encourage you all to go into the history on the Patreon. I can't stress this enough. When I first started, I had a video for everything. If you all are interested in making your own butters, oils, deodorant, it's there. You just have to scroll back. I was advised that wouldn't be a good idea to put out all of my recipes, but my recipes change. With knowledge, I evolve. And so some of those recipes on there, you can make your own if you're looking to start your own side business. I lose nothing in giving. We are practicing getting out of the scarcity mindset, so it's there for you. You're welcome to it. Make sure you are researching anything that you are using and substitute for the recipes, because when I make something, I research it. Don't add ingredients blindly. You might be allergic, or whoever you're making it for. But the recipes are there. Also, what is there is the recipe for our all-natural pesticide. Now, ladies, you can pick this up. And I say ladies and gents, we're going to manifest a male coming up through here. We need some of that masculine energy this spring now. But y'all can pick one of these up anywhere. I got this off Amazon. I always go on Amazon and check I'll scroll down, not the normal price, but sometimes they'll have at the bottom used, and it'll just be stuff that people have returned. And in them returning it, it's no longer considered new. But you can check that. I got this for about $12. And so on the Patreon, I have the recipe for the natural pesticide. And what we used was the neem oil, peppermint essential oil, and also eucalyptus. And this is very important because we're talking about prevention when it comes to pests, and you don't want to kill off the good pests. A lot of people can't deal with the bugs. If you're going to garden, there are going to be bugs, okay? Spiders galore. This will be probably the only time you see me with my hair out because there's plenty of spiders in the garden. And so you don't want, if you gardening with braids and stuff, I do advise that you cover up, because you don't want a spider in your head nesting and you not know it's there. That happens. You can look it up. Thank you. I was going to do class in the house and whatnot. So this is another seeding tray. And this seeding tray comes now. This is another seeding tray. It fits 72 pods, and I use those little round pods. I pasted them on the Patreon as well, but I'll probably repost if I can't find it. But they come with the little circular pods that you find at Walmart. What I did was just I reuse these. Like I said, we try to stop plastic in the land, but it doesn't break it out. And so I reuse stuff like this. Any kind of plastic I use in my garden. But we're going to get into it because I got a lot of stuff that y'all can be using. We don't want no excuses. I don't go out and buy a whole bunch of gardening materials. And so we even use the water bottles, plastic water bottles in the garden. There's many ways you can reduce water costs because our water bill does go up in the summertime. So we take these as well and we poke holes in them and we plant them in the ground so that when you're out there watering, a lot of plants don't like top watering. And so we'll get into that as well, but this is another way you can start your seeds. And also These are a little deeper. I like these best because they're sitting in the watering tray. And once you fit this down in here, you don't have to worry about your seeds being inside. I lose a lot of seeds if the tray isn't, the sun or the heat isn't evaporating water, and they come with tops as well. And so this is key in sprouting. You need warmth, and you also need a controlled environment. And so these are great. I reuse them. These are a little new. And I even have some silicone ones. Look at me. My brain is going. I'm like, where are the silicone ones? I just bought them last year. Another tip, if you are a gardener, at the end of the year or the gardening season would be a good time to go in and buy your seed trays and stuff because they are cheaper. They're usually on sale. I have a lot of beautiful pots that I went and purchased after the season last year. And so I'll show you around that, but just remember, you don't need pots. I brought this over as well. Shout out to everybody that signed up. The first 10 people will be getting some gardening tools in the mail, but you can use a bucket. Now we get these from my husband's job. And so with this, you will drill holes in the bottom and you can look it up. It's verifiable. People are going to whole gardens in a controlled space in buckets. There's absolutely no excuse. We're going to show y'all some more things we use. Those construction containers that are laying on the side of the highway, we even use those. We drill holes in them, get the dirt in them. We also fertilize. And so with that, we fertilize with compost in the beginning of the season. And we just get the dirt in there, get the compost in there, and put plants in it. It's so much stuff laying around. There's just absolutely no need for you to be really necessarily have to buy pots. I still buy them. I use this bucket for something else, which I'll get into in a few moments and show you how this works. But remember, plants love music. So what we're going to go through first is a bunch of fertilizing things. And of course, I told you about the compost. We have a compost bin. I will share the link. I found one and I gave it to Lisa. It looks identical to mine. You can buy compost containers that can go on the countertop. This is the best fertilizer. The compost is. If you are reading in the Kabbalion, it teaches us, and I love the chapter on plants. It teaches us that even the minute of things that we find invaluable. I hear people talking about pollution all the time. And so they speak on how there's runoff from farms and how it's getting into the water and all that. And we do get that pollution is a problem. But when you look at the movie and y'all scroll back in the Patreon, I posted the movie, The Secret Life of Plants. It just shows you how plants are conscious, sentient beings. And so even in that, the Kabbalion teaches us that even the littlest element, the microbiome of the dirt, that's what the value is. And so it is my belief that when we stop using outhouses, and I know this sounds very aged, when we stop using outhouses, we started depleting the soil. That's why a lot of the minerals and stuff are gone away from the soil. We got so sophisticated to where now we have pipes, which that did not work at all because we know there's corrosion and other things in the pipe. Now the pipes aren't being kept, and also the soil is being depleted by the day. And so we shun off the runoff and stuff. But to be honest, when you go to farms, and this is a farming area, when you go to farms, they have the greenest grass or areas for their livestock because of the runoff. And so we have to remember everything is still certain. I personally use manure in my garden. Like I said, I know a lot of you are against it. That's fine. But when you're gardening, you want to focus on the microbiome. This means that every little life form and germ So whatever you're gonna refer to in that soil is working together to bring you healthy food. I see a lot of people planting, but their food is not nutrient dense. And so you can grow anything anywhere. We see people growing in water, which I don't recommend. We see people doing it several ways, but the soil and the minerals are in the soil. You can buy liquid for the water growers. They have this mixture, and I don't know what's in it necessarily. They say is what will be in the soil. We don't know. They know that the soil is where the nutrients is. And so they're promoting all these different areas and ways to do things. That's fine. But we all come from the dirt. We say that all the time. And so the stuff that I use for fertilizer, first and foremost, is compost. And I'll show you all, I'll post some pictures of my compost, but I'm gonna post a link so you all can get it as well. But I use chicken soup for the soul. Oh, that's a book. Oh, the chicken soup for the soul. So this is all natural fertilizer, and I love it. What I do with this is I take my mixer. You can get these at any gardening store or on Amazon. This one is by Chapin. These are private videos. I wasn't gonna say the names and stuff, but it's like they need to pay me. So you take this, you put the measurements inside of here, you hook it up to the water hose, and you spray. This is the most simplest form of fertilizing, and that's why I love it. I think that fruits and vegetables, while they're taking in that water, of course, they would like to eat as well. And so we won't be using this anytime soon. We know that the soil we're going to start out with is going to be fertile, but mid-season we will be using this. This course is designed 10 weeks. And so in that, you're going to learn how to garden from seed to harvest, okay? I see a lot of gardeners, and don't you be ashamed if you can't get a seed sprout. They sell the little seedlings over at the store. You just go and pick some of those up. But this class is designed for you to learn how to grow from seed to harvest. And so that's what we do. So what I put down first, and what we're going to put down first in the soil is, of course, my soil. It's heavy too. Okay. Now y'all don't go to Walmart.com and be buying up all the soil. Okay. This is the soil. I want to make sure y'all know what it is that I use. And I love it. I use this every single year. It comes with compost already in it. It's organic, all natural. And we know they done changed the meaning. But I'm telling you, this is the soil that I use. If you don't trust it, just find something that you do. But this is called the Pro Mix. And so they have a plant mix as well, but this is the garden mix. So I get the Pro Mix garden mix. It's, like I said, organic. Look at all these spiders. Sorry, spider. And I put this down first. And so being that I garden every spring, I did have a fall garden. The chickens got to everything that I planted and ate it up. The only thing I had left was arugula. And so that was just a sign for me to give the soil a rest. We do practice resting the soil around here. People think that you're supposed to garden year in, year out. If you're going to garden all year round, you need 2 places of gardening. And gardening, whatever you plant in this spot this year or this season, you want to go ahead and plant something else there next season. When you're planting tomatoes in a spot, you want to plant whatever plant does not need nitrogen from that soil, because the tomatoes are already pulled that on. It's going to be a lot, and then you leave your roots in place. I know a lot of people, and I do it sometimes. I'm guilty. We believe in taking everything and pulling it up. If you leave the roots in the ground, that still provides minerals and nutrients for the soil. And so if you can find a way to get around pulling everything up, leave those roots in place, and then you'll have something for another type of plant. But you do want to rotate your gardening spaces. You're not supposed to plant the same thing in the same space every year. Different plants need different things from the soil. So you want to keep that in mind. That's heavy, okay? And this is even heavier. Okay. So this is something else that I use. It's called Black Cow. Now y'all are getting exclusive because I'm very, very secretive. This is like the secret ingredient. So yes, it is. It's cow poop. Okay. This is called Black Cow. It's manure. And so this is the best manure on the market. It's actually black in color. It doesn't stink, you guys. Manure is also broken down over time. But this is what I use. I tried the hummus, the organic hummus, the vegetables. That didn't work. Okay. It was a good idea. We tried it one year. It just doesn't work as well. And so we do use black cow manure. Like I said, even the littlest of the bugs that are in the soil add to the soil. And so what we don't have today to show you all is the earthworms because we're not planting yet. But what I do is go to the bait store and I'll get maybe 7 to 8 containers of earthworms. And so before we get to planting, I'm going to give y'all the recipe for your area to stay ready, right? So that first layer, you're going to go out there, you're going to turn up your soil. Boom. You got the sweat, right? And so once you turn that soil over, you're going to get a spot where you move it out the way. All right? Don't forget that part because then you're going to have weeds later and say, I ain't tell you. Get the soil out the way. It can be a feet down, maybe 2, depends on you. Y'all, we be out here. We're going to show y'all the behind the scenes. We're going to be uploading the material. We dig all the way down. I can say a feet, 12 inches down, put that soil to the side. Give me that box right there, the 4-foot box. What we do now, after we get that soil out the way, is take you a cardboard box. This is the best thing. If you want to generate earthworms, they love some wet cardboard. You're going to take your it'll be dry when you put it down. You're going to take your cardboard, and we just use box, like I said, we recycle. Last year, I did have to go to Walmart to buy these, which wasn't so bad because it was good. And what I do is take them and double it up because it is going to be getting wet. And you're going to put these down in your gardening area, however many you need, right? So once you get that down, you're going to hit them back up with the gardening landscaping material. And y'all, I use this down to the core. You can see it got holes in it. I'm going to cut it for my flower pots. I use it. And you can get some more expensive, but it really don't matter because you got your cardboard, right? So once you get both of these things laid down, this being on top of the cardboard is going to hold that moisture, and worms love wet areas. And so the cardboard is going to draw worms in addition to the worms that you already have in there, right? And so this is the landscaping. You're going to put it on top of the cardboard, and then you're going to put your soil back in there. And this is if you're doing in ground, right? If you are taking it and you put it in a container, that's fine. Your container may or may not need, but keep in mind when you're doing containers, you still need the landscaping. You might not need the cardboard, you need the landscaping because if not, every time you water, the nutrients are going to come up out the bottom. Remember, every gardening container has to have drainage holes. And so every time you water, all those ingredients that are supposed to be held in the soil that are supporting that plant life, it comes out. And so you always want to have something in the bottom of wherever you're planting, whether it be a house plants or gardening, because it's going to help to lock in those areas. So once you get that down, like I said, we come in with the compost, mix that compost in that soil, and then I buy these Pro Mix packs. I buy them like 20 at a time. And so we just hitting the area with however much is needed. I do garden boxes. But I also have a lot of containers. Like I say, I don't want to pollute the earth any more than necessary. And so I try to use everything. So once we get all the dirt and the stuff mixed up real good, to those of you that are repeating your gardening cycle, do not till your soil. Tilling the soil kills the microbiome in the soil. You don't have to till it. You till it one time and you just keep your soil up.
What does
The
tilling
floorboard
soil
goes up with
mean?
yeast.
Does she hear me?
You said what?
What does tilling soil mean?
Oh, so a tiller would be a Pharaoh. Can you go to the garden and get that tiller for me? The thing with the spiky things that I use in the garden area. A tiller is like a rolling knife, I'll say. They sell electric ones. They also sell the gas operated ones. I have a handheld as well. And so what I used to use my tiller for is making sure that my soil was broken up after watering. Because sometimes when you keep watering, you'll pack the soil down and no oxygen can flow through. But I no longer need to do that because I took the water bottles, I put holes in them. I put holes in the water bottle and I stuck them in the ground. So I have water bottles going throughout my garden. And what I do is just take the top off and water through those. And I'm going to show you, we're going to get more into that. But come on. How you earning your money? Come on. You don't like work for me. I'm like, oh, you ain't getting paid today. Let's go. Thank you so much. This is one that I got from a gardening store down here. Well, it's actually a farm store. But this is what the tiller would look like. So if you are breaking fresh ground, this will be your best friend. Even though you will still have to dig, once you dig up that dirt, this right here will break it down and you can nurture that dirt. So yeah, that's a handheld tiller. Like I said, they do have the electric ones, but you don't want to till every year because that takes the life out of the soil. And so we're gonna go into the watering. Y'all, my mind is like going on. So this is what I use this for. I take this, which is my water bucket, and I like using light colors. I have a yellow. And you're gonna get you a fish aquarium filter, right? So when you growing, have your area where you can plug up you aquarium filter. These are my little hacks. So what do we use this for? And these were literally $10 on Amazon. And see, I really need an Amazon store of my own. You can buy for me. But it was $10. I did click on the lower prices and it wasn't considered new. It's okay. I got two of them. This is the newer one. It's a regular fish aquarium filter. That's all it is. And so what I do, I set it up. It sits on the side of the bucket. Brand spanking up. I'm gonna use the upper one to stop ticking. Put the hook on the side of your bucket. Okay. And so I hook it up here, plug it in. I fill my bucket with water. So every day, this is every day, y'all. It's very important. I'm gonna even give you every other day. The water has to be fresh. You know how people we're being promoted spring water. It's the same thing with plants. They like the sound of water, and they also love oxygenated water. And I might have pronounced that wrong, but it's okay. Oxygenated. Yeah, I know that sound wrong. Y'all know what I mean. So you're gonna plug this up and you're gonna let it run for a whole day. You're gonna let it run. Everybody know if you're using tap water to water, you have to let your water sit. Don't do your plants like that, put all that chlorine in them. So you're gonna let it sit a day. And while you letting it sit, the fish filter has a filter on, so it's filtering that water. All the little heavy stuff is gonna be filtered out, but it also is adding oxygen to the water. So what I use this for is my water bottles. I don't put nothing else in my water bottles but oxygen added water. I say that. And so I do that. I wouldn't say I do it every day. I do have to make the water very often so the water is not sitting. But one more hack to add to this, right? Got one more thing for y'all. Sea moss. The sea moss, you can take the whole piece of sea moss, drop it in your bucket. It's filtering, and so what's beneficial what you're adding is just like having a fish fertilizer. And like I say, you don't fertilize all the time, but in order for your plants to eat, your plants like different stuff. So I'll take a piece of sea moss, put it in my water, it's filtering out, and then the next day I'll take this water and add to the water bottle. So not only are they getting to eat, they're getting their oxygen, and it just makes for a healthier and happier plant. And I love my plant, baby. I play music, perform, and all that. So definitely want to build a relationship with your plants. The information I brought today is the magical practices, right? And so I have this book that I just now started using. I've been had this book maybe 5 years, and it has a chapter in it on the magical power of plants. And so this is and pay no attention to the Wicca. I know that might be a turn off for most. We know this is our stuff, right? So the Wicca Herbal Magic, and this is a beginner's guide to being able to use. I also have an herb garden as well. Like I said, we'll get over there in a minute, but you want to be making sure that in these seasons, you're using the power of the astrology as well. Don't let your gardening season go by and you're trying to manifest stuff. So not only are we going to plant on our parchment paper our intentions, we'll be also working with the herbs of the astrology season. And so we are in Aries season, or the cycle of Aries, however you want to say it. And so some of the herbs that are associated with Aries, okay. So we're talking about sweet basil. I grew basil last year for the first time. It is absolutely delicious, but it is associated with Aries season. And so it says here that it does help you to guard against pests or harmful spells cast by others. And so they have a lot of stories, but we chew the meat and spit out the bones. It's also known as the tonic. They would make bay juice before flying off on their brooms. Now, if you have a broom and you fly off on it, this might be something you're interested in. It said that they would do that before getting on their broomsticks, and so that it is used for astral projection. I didn't consider projection at first because I thought it was just really deep, but now I realize that sometimes when I close my eyes before I even get off to sleep, I can see visions. Last night when I closed my eyes, I saw a vision of a little boy running in front of a drum. He had on a blue plaid shirt. I don't know where it came from. He looked Hispanic. I don't know who it was for. But as soon as I close my eyes, usually when I close my eyes and see something instantly, it kind of creeps me out. But I'm now learning to take that, write it down, and you just never know how to come back up. But astral traveling is not, you don't have to have like 10 steps, because I was researching it for a while. And so this right here is good for astral traveling, projection, or interacting with the spirit world in and out of body experience. And that is sweet basil. We use it a lot here for drinks, but it's good for other stuff. Now, in its protective function, it is strong on floors to ward off negative energy and carry to promote courage in dangerous circumstances. It also is good for luck and prosperity and can be sprinkled outside of one's business or worn as a charm satchel for general money attraction. So we definitely will be using this herb in this season, okay? And so the zodiac signs that it is associated with are Aries and Scorpio. The governing planet is Mars, and it is a fire. It's associated with fire element. And so also the deities that is known for is Vishnu, which is the Hindu protector god, and Ursula, which is the Haitian goddess of love and beauty. And so we'll definitely be using this. I'll be doing a separate video of when I do make my satchel for this season. Like I said, I'm trying to generate consistency, and what a better way to do it in Aries season. Shout out to Karenessa. Jeez, girl, your season is upon you. And so, is she still here? We will be using that in this season because I wanted to make a prosperity satchel. I usually use velvet green bags for anything that is money related. And so we'll be using the sweet basil. The other herb that we'll be working with is the bay leaf. Now, the bay leaf is associated with Aries and Leo. The planet that governs the bay leaf is the sun, and the element is fire. So these are two herbs we will be working with in this season to make us a little satchel for prosperity. Some of you might need protection. It can also be used as that. We know Aries is the soldier. They don't mind going to war, and so you can make satchels for protection as well. Now it's showing here in this book. It is used for a variety of magical purposes, including love, luck, wealth, happiness, harmony, courage, fertility, assistance, fertility, protection, and exercise. Yeah. Okay. Now you can usually get this protective function and throw it on the floors to ward off negative energy. But a common practice, which is what we'll be doing this in this Aries season, is using it to write on. So a common form of bay magic is to write your wish on a dried bay leaf and then burn it to seal the spell. Bay leaves are placed in the corner of a room or a house for protection. And it's also used under pillows. Put this in there. You got to put something in to hold it down. It's not just going to stay. It's windy. And don't break those. No, I don't think so. That's okay. Thank you. Probably looks big. Okay, so dream pillows. So it's also used for dream pillows to encourage prophetic dreaming. And so we're going to use this also. I'm going to make a little packet for my pillow because I have been seeing visions and I've been dreaming. Y'all, this fulvic, the fulvic is helping me to remember my dreams. Sometimes I don't remember when I wake up, but ever since I've started taking it, oh, wow. Thank you, Pharaoh. It's crazy. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I'm hood. I don't can. I look up. I got lipstick everywhere. Thank you, Pharaoh. Okay. I just intend on using it for my dream pillows because, like I said, now that I'm using a fulvic, I can remember. And so when you can remember a dream, most of the time, it be for people around you. And I just want to make sure I'm not doing a disservice. Just like that little boy, it was very specific that he had on a blue plaid shirt. And I could see the traffic. And it's like I was sitting this way in the car when he ran across. And so I just wrote it down. I want to start writing more. Like I said, at first it's creeping me out just to close my eyes and see stuff. But it could be something for somebody else. And so I'm going to make one of these little sachets. We'll do that in a separate video. That way, I'm delivering you all your bonus content as well. But we're going to do some manifesting. So make sure to go ahead and get you some bay leaves and also some sweet basil. The sweet basil, if you're going to use it in a pillow, a dream pillow, make sure it's dehydrated. I purchased a dehydrator last spring because I was harvesting so much rosemary. Rosemary and peppermint just be booming in the springtime. And so if you all plan on doing an herb garden, I will be recording and uploading that information. We're going to take our herb bed. I have everything ready, but we have to take all the old dirt out. We're going to replace the old dirt. And remember, if your herb beds are near your home where you're going to be watering, you might want to invest in a watering system that is ground only. I do a lot of water hose water. And so what I'm noticing with that is the house foundation. Sometimes we'll get ants on the inside, and also just it looks like some level of moisture is in there. So we're taking everything out and we're gonna line the planter box, which is brick, with plastic, and we're gonna seal up all the holes with concrete to make sure nothing is penetrating our home. But you'll see once we get into it, you'll be able to see the herbs once we set them off. Don't forget, you guys, we will be planting on the new moon. So right now, what we're doing is going over the grow zones. You have to know what grow zone you're in, seeing what grows there, and getting those seeds and really researching what grows well with other things. A lot of people plant stuff together. They'll plant a ground cover and they'll also plant the crop. Me personally, I use flowering mist. This comes with echinacea, and this will bring in the butterflies and the bees. I plant a lot of sunflowers too. This is just going to be something extra. I have a flower bed this year, and I plant sunflowers all over the yard. You want to be planting flowers alongside of wherever you're going to garden because they bring in the bees. The bees aren't the only pollinators, though. We have to be thankful that butterflies come around. I have a lot of dragonflies that come around and other little bugs, too. Okay. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to do. I bought this mix. I might go and buy another one. I have flowers already, but you have to plant things that are gonna draw in flowers. And I tried growing echinacea last year. This mix has it in there. Last year I planted the echinacea too late, honestly. We also planted last year different varieties of sunflowers. The yellow sunflower is and the white ones are both European in nature, but we have some of those darker varieties, and we learned how to harvest the seeds. I did not know how you harvest sunflower seeds until last year. And the reason why I like to plant those is because there's an ant crawling on the lamp. The reason why I love to plant those is because the beauty it brings, and not just that, it brings in the birds, different beautiful species of birds. And also, we have hummingbirds in the yard. I don't put anything down for the hummingbirds because I've been told that they get kind of aggressive when you don't have the stuff out there, and I don't need no birds checking me about any kind of syrup. I ain't got time for that. And so they still come around. Y'all, if y'all trying to talk, tell me. All right, so bay leaf and sweet basil. Those are herbs we're gonna be working with, and you also can research your own herb for your own. I'm gonna find me something that also deals with Jupiter, and so those are the herbs that I'll be using. Like I said, we'll do that on a bonus video, and we'll get that put together. I have to actually go buy some basil because, like I said, the lavender, the rosemary, the peppermint, all that has to come out. This year, I am planting lavender again. I only have one lavender plant. Peppermint. If you all intend on using peppermint, it is one of those plants that'll keep going. A little goes a long way. You can plant peppermint around your house to keep bugs from being in your house. In the summertime, we get a lot of bugs coming in and geckos, random, right? And so it is my intention to go ahead and start planting peppermint around the house. I'm going to start in one area, and every year I'm going to plant wherever those seeds stop at. Peppermint is a runner plant, and so it's going to spread on its own. That's why we're taking everything out of the herb box, because the peppermint took over the chamomile, right? It ran it all out the way. And if you plant peppermint anywhere, separate it or keep it on its own, because if not, it's going to take off. It'll take off and keep on going. We had a whole box of peppermint. Okay, so yeah, I think I showed you everything that I came out here. This is just starter seeds. Everybody that I'm mailing a package to, I appreciate you. One of these will be in your package. I'm gonna send you this and some seeds that are good for your zone. I do have a couple of packs of what is being popularized now. I do not partake in it, but I know some of y'all do. They're called sprouts. And so I'll be putting the last couple of packs of sprouts in just random packages. But I don't do the sprouting thing because if the plant life is alive, that would equate to us cutting down babies, right? That's what we're about to get. And so I don't have I have a hard time pulling up my plants at the end of the season. So I don't want to be taken away from the life that seed coming through me and trusting me to get it to grow. But then it's supposed to grow, chopping it off. I get it. I just don't I will be putting that in a couple of packs. If you do it, if not, grow them full. They still are vegetables. Also, I'm thinking I know a couple more things. Oh, watering. Last year I purchased these. Yeah, I do a lot of eBay. But these fit with the water bottles. If you want to use them inside or out, these were bought specifically for gardening. You can adjust the little tap on it and it'll water your plants. Of course, they're down in the ground. The water bottle will be sitting on this end. And so for your plants that need more water, that's that part of that antenna. Put that on the side of the house and stay off and over there by that antenna. You're going to have to get somebody to service it. Another good secret, if you're growing tomatoes, I love growing tomatoes. I eat them right off the tree. This is another all natural organic fertilizer, just especially for tomatoes. And this is made by Mr. Jim's or Dr. Jim's. I also got the wet version. I got a whole kit that they had. These came together and they are good for feeding your plants, and it also came with food. These are grow packets. So what you do with these is put it down in the soil, and it's also made, like I said, by Mr. Jim. For those of you that plan on cultivating some marijuana, you can use these. What you do is just put it in the soil, and you put your seeds right on top. And I do plan on cultivating a few plants this year. I am waiting on a second greenhouse. Like I said, they're just tablets, and you put them in your starter soil, and they help to support a healthy form plant, right? Also, plant support. Can't stress this enough. If your plants need support and you notice it early, give them some support, y'all. Don't let your plants just go unsupported. Just like you would need support, you want to make sure. I got these off Amazon. They sell them in different heights. And they're reusable. I got tired of buying the kind with the wire because the wire breaks quite often. And so these are plastic. I use them now. And it is the brand that is carried in Dollar Tree. It's called Garden Collection. And so I buy some of their gardening stuff from Dollar Tree. And last but not least, these are soil plant supports. If you're doing any kind of vining and you need trellises, this works with that. I have regular trellises as well. You would clamp the vines to give you support. I use these mostly for my watermelons. They get kind of big. They need that support. Once we get into the actual melon, I'm going to show you how you can support your melons without them sitting all on the ground.
Hummingbirds supposed to have antennas.
They got a long beak.
I saw antennas on them.
Might be a spy. Also, gardening, and this is like the things that come around the bread. It's also a form of plant support. It twists, it bends. All this stuff I got from Dollar Tree, y'all. Don't sleep on Dollar Tree before the spring gets here. Y'all can go to Dollar Tree. They have some heirloom seeds. They also have gardening. I got this and this. Got a couple of things from Dollar Tree. Also, your nippers. Now, some of you will have these in your packages, so don't rush out. But you're going to need something to clip with. Once we get into harvesting, we're going to harvest by the moon cycles. In the book, whether you get the book or not, we're going to go through it. It was just saying that you don't want to let your plants overgrow because it's not in a specific cycle that you feel like is related. You got to have your wits about you. If you see that your basil needs to be clipped, clip it. You know, the best time to prune your plants is early in the morning. That's before they will have any sun drainage. Early. That's the best time to harvest early in the morning. Now, do I always follow those rules? No. Sometimes I get out here and it's in the afternoon. What I try to do before I harvest, though, is make sure to water. I don't want my plants to be in distress while I'm taking something from them. And so I will water first, but I don't necessarily be out here early in the morning. I ain't gonna flex. And like I said, when you watch the movie The Secret Life of Plants, it just also is wild how the plants communicate with each other. So if you out there chopping and hacking, that kind of increases the fear in them. And someone asked the question, well, wouldn't that change the vibration of your food? And so you want to be kind to your plants. Like I said, I play music. And we also want to start practicing asking, because if it's a sentient being, I mean, it's conscious, just like you. If you were producing for whoever it is that you would look like a mother figure, you wouldn't want that mother figure coming in and just taking from you just because it gave you life. And so we want to practice asking. We're going to be very intentional this season. Once I watched that movie, it blew my mind. They hooked up little nodes to different plants, and they can even like be traumatized. So you don't want to be rushing. I always take my time. I was sharing with a couple of people when I'm out here gardening. When I'm out here gardening, I don't necessarily rush. If I don't answer the phone, you can believe I'm in the garden. Y'all, I almost forgot. The wow. Okay. This year we are using fulvic in the garden. And so this is some fulvic that I ordered online. It is by Wallace Organic Wonder. And it's water soluble. get it in. And so just adding this to the soil as well. I had to bring it out. I have been using the fulvic for my plants. And so we're gonna go ahead and get some in the garden. The advertisement for this got me. It was just saying how if you're growing marijuana plants, you just have a bigger, healthier plant and flowers on your plant. And so we're gonna use it for the whole garden, but we're gonna concentrate this is really ordered for our other things. I also be trying it out in the flower bed. Of course the watermelons, but this is public, y'all. And again, it is Wallace Organic Wonder. And I got this on, did I get it on Amazon? Of course. Amazon, they got everything. They got everything. Also, this is another method of growing. Didn't want to forget it. Grow bag. You can research this on your own. If you plan on growing potatoes, they like grow bags better. They don't want your moisture. And so this year we're gonna do our, it's like we bought this for potatoes. It just took so long to grow. But this year we're out here early with it, and we're gonna get our potato crops growing. I had sweet potato and I had regular red, the little small red potatoes. It just was taking so long. The plants, the leaf parts was healthy, but we didn't have a lot of bulbs in the ground. And maybe because it is a fall, it does better in fall. We're gonna try it again though. You can use these grow bags. I use them also to start off my watermelons. They have a variety of these on Amazon. Just read the reviews. Before I buy anything, I have to go through reviews because you'll get something home and somebody will be gonna say, hey, they're using chemicals in this. When you get your grow bags, if they're very durable, you can just toss these in a washing machine to make sure everything chemically is gone. And so I've had these grow bags for like 2-3 years now. They're very durable. I also have the black one. And so my seed is water and everything, just wasting. Listen, Pharaoh, he nothing water. I appreciate you though. I don't need that. This is what we call chicken wire. I use this in gardening a lot. It is kind of expensive. I ain't gonna kick you. I should have took this one back to the store. But if you have a pest problem and you are planning on planting on the ground, this will help you with pests that come from under. And also you can take this and unfold it and put it over. It works both ways. I use this to keep my chickens out of my garden. In conjunction with the greenhouse cover, like I said. It works well for me. I also use this for vining plants. Like when I plant beans, I'll unroll this and sit it on the outer wall because beans like to climb. And so if I'm not using a trellis, I'll be using the chicken wire. I don't know if you all have animals or whatever, but if your animals are digging in your garden, this is definitely something that you want to invest in. This year, when we get the greenhouse cover, I won't be using the metal. The metal keeps tearing up the greenhouse cover. And so I will be going over to the plastic. But it does work wonders. I don't have to worry about outside pests. We have squirrels. I know squirrels like to eat. They don't care. And so this is something you might want to invest in. And I think that's it, y'all. We went over the most important thing, the seed starting, right? So now that we have all our tools for gardening, when are we gonna start the seeds? This is very important. I want everybody to go over your zones, right? I'm gonna send you some seeds that are connected to your zone, but go over your zones. You want to plant intentionally. Plant things that do well in your area. That way, if we get the notion that we want to send each other fruits and vegetables, like a co-op or something, then we got different stuff in the box. We all can't plant tomatoes every year, okay? I'm going to plant some tomatoes this year, But tomatoes are also invasive. That when you're talking about planting a different space, last year I did tomatoes, they were dropping and new ones was popping up. They're very invasive. So however you choose to do that, what we're gonna do for the new moon, and that's in a couple of weeks. This class was the introduction, just give you some ideas of things that you can use in the garden. All the good tools to get you ready. And then we're gonna go into starting those seeds. And so what we're gonna go over right now is a couple of ways to start your seeds. Now, way number one, and y'all, the garden gloves, you all will have a pair of gloves in your package. So like I said, don't rush out. Don't rush out. I got it coming. Don't forget the gloves. I don't use garden gloves. I ain't gonna lie. I like my hands being dirty in the soil. If that's not you and you're not into the dirt on your hands, I will be mailing y'all some little cute patterns that I found garden gloves. Um, just in general though, in a couple of weeks, class officially starts. Class number one. This is the intro. In a couple of weeks, if y'all have any questions, make sure to comment section, DM me. However we talk, come on in. We're gonna start getting our seeds ready. I'm gonna pull out my seed box. If you are buying seeds in mass amounts, your seeds are supposed to be stored in a dry, cool place. So I will be posting in the Patreon a seed holder that I found, but I don't use it. I use recycle, and so I have all of my seeds stuck down in a coconut water box, and I just keep it out the way. I do intend on purchasing a system because most seeds don't like to be dried out, but I just believe in using what I got. And so what we're gonna do is pick out what we're gonna grow. This is a class where we need participation, y'all. Energy is moving, and so participate. Drop in the chat in the comment section what it is that you intend on growing. Keep in mind that we are going to use this not for just sprouting. We're going to manifest. And so once you pick what you're growing, look up the elements associated with the plant. You only want to plant things that need the similar waterings together. I did this for a couple of years the wrong way. Things that need more water, you're going to plant those things together. Everything don't need water every other day. Some plants don't like that much water at all, right? And so we want to be very intentional about where we're taking our gardens. So once we get our seeds sprouted, way number one to sprout your seeds. I do not use this method. I learned this method from Master Teacher Amina L. You can take your seeds and place them in your mouth. This would program your seeds with your DNA, and in that, you're taking it from your mouth into the soil. Now, I personally don't use this method because we know that the mouth is one of the nastiest parts on the body. And if that seed is already fragile, we don't want to do any more damage as far as the growing process. Have I tried the method? Yes, I have. I recently tried the method with a couple of Mary Jane plants. None of those seeds sprouted. I'm on round 2 of those seeds. And I don't know what it was. I just know that based on germ-wise, germs do bring about life. That's what we taught in the Kabbalion. They do bring about life. And so they have their part, but it just might not work. Like I said, I don't use that method. I won't be using it anymore. That's the first method. The second method of sprouting your seeds is very simple. You will get you a glass jar. I have these little jars, don't judge me, from some moonshine. They're old jars, but they're mason jars, right? And so I take those little jars and put water in them. Whether you're using spring, tap water, if you use your tap water, let it sit 24 hours. If you're using your spring water, run it through a coffee filter, right? You don't want anything that's gonna be too hard on that seed. That seed is very fragile. And I'm not talking about hot water coffee filter. I mean just place a coffee filter, hold the water. Okay, I don't want nobody to be confused. The other way, which is the way that I use distilled water because I know it's pure water and the seed is gonna be sucking it up, right? So what I do is take my distilled water, put it in one of those little jars. I use old candle jars that I bought and I clean them out. You want to make sure whatever you start in your season is sanitized. A good way to sanitize your flower pots is either if you use bleach, I don't use bleach, but you can use peroxide. You can also use bleach and water. You want to rinse after using anything. You can also use baking soda. This is to sterilize everything that you're going to be using to plant and sprout. And so what I do is take my sterilized container, I drop those seeds in the water, I sit them in a windowsill where the sun is going to be shining very bright, and you'll see your seeds once they get ready, they'll drop to the bottom. They start off at the top if they're really dry, and then once they have absorbed enough water, they'll come down to the bottom. Once you do that, I take those same seeds and get a paper towel. Last year, I was experimenting with paper bags. Both work, right? And so you're going to take your paper towel, a thin little square, not going to be a lot. You're going to put your seeds in it, and you're going to fold it, make a little pocket. And I place it just like this in the sandwich bag. Now, I know some of y'all might not want to use the plastic. It's fine. But I place this right here. I take my sandwich bags to my window. That's easy for me. I can't have a whole bunch of water sitting around everywhere. And so once you take that sandwich bag is open at the top. I put my either paper bag or my paper towel down in a little square. And then anytime I see it dry, I add capfuls of water. That's going to help your seed to sprout out that root. The tap root is the most important in the sprouting. So you want to make sure it's not drying out at all. It needs to be wet. Not soggy, but just wet. And I tape it to the windowsill. If y'all don't want to use that method, y'all can plant straight into the soil. Both ways work. I do both. But when I run out of space in these little containers, I can't have these sitting everywhere. These, I have little room for these to sit in the living room. So I only use 2 to 3 of them. And then the rest of my seeds are sprouted in sandwich bags. And like I say, all 3 of those methods, I've seen Amina's seed sprout after doing her mouth sprouting method. What we're going to is just programming the seeds. If you use the water, speak life to that water before you put the seeds in there. That's exactly what I do. Water holds vibration. You're only using the water for the seed to absorb it, to bring it to the bottom. That's how you know. And then you're going to put it in just a little bit more dryness. Now, some people do keep their seeds in the water until they can see that tail coming out of their seed. It's totally up to you. Me personally, once I see that tail, I put it in a less wet environment, and then it'll strengthen up. You got to remember, even once we start transplanting them, before we transplant, we have to let the plants harden off. And so when you moving from one thing to the next, make sure you let in that water evaporate. A lot of wetness breeds different diseases for different plants, and you don't want your seeds sick. They won't be fruitful, none of that. I done tried, okay? So this is the paper towel method. If you decide to go straight into the pods, because I will with some of my seeds, go for it. Like I said, the water you use though, even for your trays, speak life to that water. Speak to that water what it is that you want that plant to do for your family. And this is just like, this is also manifestation. Like I said, once we take these plants and put them in the garden, we're going to plant those plants on top of the parchment paper. So as these plants grow up to be healthy, we also manifesting what it is that we're trying to get out there. Another method a lot of people use for starting plants is an egg yolk. They take an egg, crack it, put the yolk into the soil. They put the seed there, and they watch. Now, eggs have a lot of calcium in it, so if it's a plant that doesn't like too much calcium, it may or may not work. Pharaoh, what are you doing? Oh, you want to show people in the class?
Why are you scared of worms?
I don't want no touch no worm. That's why I buy them. Here, get that.
I touch with it.
That's fine. That's
Now I know.
why you a good
Mom,
assistant.
that's
Okay.
gonna be yours.
Mm-mm. So we let Pharaoh handle the worms. I have like flesh crawling tendencies. That's okay. So what we're working on right now, gonna check back in 2 weeks, right? In 2 weeks, we will be getting ready under that new moon to put our plants in the soil. Don't jump ahead because when you do, it's still a work, but you're not using the energy. You gotta remember, new moon is new things, new beginnings, and it's very friendly to your plants, your garden life. And so that's when we're gonna sprout. We're using this time. We got started now, just so we can know what tools. Y'all might go on YouTube and do some research on how to care for whatever you're gonna plant, because we're gonna get into it. For me, every year I grow a whole bunch of watermelons. Every year we only get to eat about 1 or 2 of them because the rest of them are white on the inside. Now, I know where it come from. The people, hint no hint, Pharaoh and his dad, they over the watermelon patch, right? And so they never want to weed. So this year we getting deep with it, off the rip. We're gonna get all that stuff out of there, and then we're gonna get that cardboard in there. We're gonna build a little bit, gonna make our wall a little bit higher. And once we make the wall a little bit higher, we're gonna go back in with the cardboard, the landscaping, and we're gonna be ready this time. If you can find trellises, y'all, please buy them now. The trellises will go up soon. They have them at the farmer store for about 25 cents. If you like the flat trellises, y'all go on YouTube, YouTube, eBay, Amazon, wherever, because a lot of people gonna be running out. I notice every spring, once we get into the ball rolling of the season, it go ahead and sells out online. Last year, it took me a long time to even find these. And once I did buy the second batch, the price had went up. The old price wasn't the new price. I was very mad. I wrote to people about it, but I needed them. So what can you do? Get your plant supports now. Don't wait last minute. Get your trellises now. Don't wait last minute. Get your soil now. This soil right here, I had a couple of people tell me they couldn't even find it last year. Once people start getting their stuff together, some people are buying in bulk. I know I go and buy like 20 of them just because I know they're gonna sell out. Everything else, we'll be receiving a package. They're gonna have some gloves in there and some snips and a couple of other things. You still can get you some extra. Don't be shy. I always keep me like 2 or 3 pairs of shears, because every plant, you don't want to have to wash those shears. Just have some for everything you're gonna plant. And that way, that's dedicated set. And if you're gonna reuse, I reuse them too. Don't forget your worms. You have to create some kind of life in your soil to get the proper nutrients. Now, worm casting, or what we call worm poop. If you don't want to use the manure, you can use the worm casting. They sell them in the bag. They come with worm poop, okay? Literally. And so if you don't want to use the cow manure, your other options are the humus. They have a humus manure bag that is made with yogurt and all these other things. And then you can just buy worm castings. The castings are kind of expensive, but I know a lot of people that use. Yeah, y'all. So we getting ready. We getting geared up. I look forward to growing with you all. This season's gonna be exciting because I have to grow new stuff. I had got comfortable with them tomatoes. And don't get me wrong, tomatoes are survivors too, y'all. Them tomatoes kept producing. But we want to grow something else. We want to get to know more than just tomatoes. We still will have the tomatoes. For those of you interested in cultivating the Mary Jane, I'm going to do separate videos because I don't want nothing flagged. I don't want nobody to think I'm promoting. It'll be a private video for those of you that's trying to cultivate that. Also, we're going to get in close so you can see. I bought a camcorder. We're going to have that camcorder down in the dirt so you can see what it is that I'm doing with the water bottles, how we prepare those. So go ahead and start saving your water bottles. Also, for the watering, there are things that are called, look, I'm going to say it looks like a terracotta pot. So you can use these, do you know the name of them? I don't know. Okay.
Aren't
I
they
take terracotta
terracotta
flower pots. You can buy these saucer. And so if you're trying to save on water, you will put that saucer top on top of the pot. You bury it down in the soil and you water into the pot. So when the dirt needs the water, it'll draw it from the pot. It's also good for filtering water if you're using tap water to water. So keep that in mind. It's a fancy Hispanic name for it. It doesn't come to mind because when I looked up the actual tool, it was kind of expensive. And then I went on YouTube and was like, okay, what can I do to make one of these? You can just use terracotta pots. This year I did order a hose system. Gonna try to get it set up. It looks kind of, but what it does is water directly on top of the soil, so I don't have to do a lot of spraying with the water hose. Start researching, y'all. Every plant does not like on top watering, and when you go on cabbage, the wetter that stuff is, that's when the pests come in. And so you want to keep things kind of dry and healthy. Everybody know any kind of water that's sitting still starts to produce things that can be bad for your plants. And so you want to keep that in mind. Don't forget to get your water filter. I'm telling y'all, this is my own trick and it works. Adding oxygen to your water for your plant works. Okay, we'll have this going all year. I have a whole surge protector that I put in the garden house, and we have that water filter going. And like I said, don't forget plant supports. Even if you're gardening or you're just a plant mom, if your plants need support, they sell them. They sell them. These could be put together, or they could just be separate. And so was Jennifer. She just told me about the bamboo. You can order bamboo according to the height. If your plants in the house, if you have big plants and they need support, those just came in. My grandmama's plant, it had got so big and heavy at the top, it fell over. And so it falling over, it's odd. It started growing upward. So it's over, but it's up like this. Then when the supports came, I had to put it back up. So now they're going, I can't make it up. But I'm just glad that the plants do have support. I love my plants. I have a house full of plants, and then we have to care for all these, especially in the spring. Another thing we're going to cover in this class is repotting house plants, just because I love them. I try not to disturb the soil too much, but at least once a year, you want to give your plant some fresh soil, especially if that's how you feed them. It's time for spring. It's time for feeding. Again, you can take the fulvic. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first class I got and then seems like you did a little bit bigger, so we could bury it.
Okay. He's planning his funeral for his chicken, y'all. Bear with us. So after this live, we will be going to the ground and saying a couple of words of kindness over Snow White. And so then we're gonna go straight into the book club. Bear with me if y'all waiting on book club. Like I said, I don't know how she ended up there. I think it's the universe trying to trick me into getting some more chickens. I think I'm good with the 5. We'll see. Cause we'll see. Right. Miss Jennifer said, King's mom said Western Power and Snow White. Yeah. Thank you. We will be having a Snow White's funeral. Y'all can send your positive vibes towards the graveside, and we'll make sure that she gets them. We might even put a little stick or something so we know we buried them. That's 3 chickens down. We had 2 that went missing. We never found their bodies. And then I don't know what happened. I said I thought it was paper blowing on the yard. And it was Snow White. It's so sad. Anyway, we're gonna go over like I said, from seed to harvest. We're gonna go over pruning. We're gonna go over pests. I'm gonna start posting all the bug pictures, things you're gonna see around the garden. We're gonna go over the flowers. The flowers don't feed the same as the food. And so we also got trees, y'all. This year I'm cultivating a mango tree as well as some persimmon trees. You want to start your trees now if that's what you're into, because trees take about 3 years to fruit. The avocado trees are coming outside this year. They are huge in the house. And so we're going to cover all those things. We're going to get into it. And y'all going to have plenty of behind the scenes because I'm out here all day. So if y'all don't have any questions, anything y'all want to ask, then we'll get out of here.
Yes, I have one question.
Hi, Nina.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, when will this be recording up so we can review it again?
I'm sorry to hear you.
I said, when will this recording be up so we can review it again?
It'll be up by the end of the day. Hold on, y'all. I'm choking.
You okay?
Okay, sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm close there. So it'll be up by the end of the night.
Okay, thank you.
Probably before the end. I just have to learn how to use the camcorder.
Okay.
So I'll be uploading it in video form. If not, we are recording on Zoom. And so in that, I can download the recording.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if anybody else have any questions, y'all make sure y'all put y'all address. I DM'd y'all on Patreon. I want to mail all those gardening packages out Monday. I do not want to run back and forth. I promise I don't. And so I need your address so I can send you your package. I appreciate the support. The first 10 people will be receiving a gardening package. And it looks like 5 people are here. So we have 10 more. Just if you know somebody that signed up, let them know to drop their address so I can get that stuff mailed out on Monday. Yeah, it's like weird activity. Y'all here? No.
No.
It's like 2 dogs barking. Okay, so this rising, we came into Aries season at 11:33 a.m. And of course, this is my moon diary, y'all. If y'all are interested, I got it on Amazon. This helps me as far as keeping my cards and the astrology together, cards that I pull. And so it tells you what time we go into spring equinox. And on these pages, it's showing you the chart for Aries. And so Pharaoh went into it prematurely. But what he was saying was you're going to start seeing random acts of violence. So, like I said, be conscious of your surroundings, also of your energy. I don't attract personally those things, but I still am conscious of the energy that I'm putting out. And so on here, just saying that the sun is gonna move into Aries, and like the opening of spring buds, the root potential of the winter solstice chart emerges into the visible world. The solstice chart's dynamic square aspect between the ruler Saturn and revolutionary Uranus may have eased, but its theme continues to be hammered home by the equinox ruler, which is Mars, which picks up the square to Uranus from exactly the same Aquarian degree. It is now time for action, for an acceleration in the changes in mindsets and structures that the passage of Uranus through Taurus has shown to be necessary. The close proximity to Mars of Taurian ruler Venus promises an innovative coming together between peoples to respond creatively to the need for change. Unless the very real potential of this time to weave a new paradigm, that's why all the spiders are coming up. It's time to weave your new reality. To weave a new paradigm within the human and scientific worlds is addressed. Sudden accidents or unexpected outbursts of violence could pull the rug from under many. So just like I said, stay conscious of what's going on around you. Now the Sabian symbol for Mars degree speaks of how during a silent hour, a man receives a new inspiration which may change his life. Don't forget to start meditating, working out. This is the season for that. We in the season of Aries. You can ramp working up back out, or working out back up. I started last week, but I just noticed when I'm working out in Aries season, my endurance is better. And so I just started jumping rope for an hour, and I got my hula hoop, y'all. When I say your hips was hurting after using that for 2 days, start your workout routine. That's the season we in. Yes. Yes, assistant. Yes. You want to be working out and not just that. Like I said, in manifesting, that's that fire element. We're gonna take the fire. We're gonna use what is Gemini, the writing or the thoughts. Put it all, like I say, together. You're gonna be hula hooping, jump rope, or whatever it is that you do, and we're gonna use all of that to manifest. This is the time to plant the seed. Any new projects that you're trying to bring to life. Jennifer has her podcast coming up. Shout out to you. Also, Lisa's making candles. Shout out to you. If y'all do anything, let me know. We got Arthur Shanette in here. She writes books, children's books, and adult books. I think she's a triple published author. So y'all, let's share. Let's use this space. Y'all can come in and talk about what it is that you all do. Socialize in the chat. That's what it's for. And so whatever new projects you all have coming up, let's use this Aries season for that. So by the time we hit summer, we kind of sort of living our best life. We can start seeing the evidence of that. You get what I'm saying? And so that's what I'll be doing. Today I will be working out no matter what. I don't care what time. I will be out there. Pull out your sweat vest, ladies. This is the time to go ahead and get them inches off as well. Don't forget to put on your sweat vest. I will be sharing the one I've been using on YouTube. Y'all know my little workout be on YouTube sometimes. And so you want them waist wrapped. Y'all using them waist wrapped. Let's get it. Let's show up as our best versions of ourselves in this season. And not just that, we're gonna use the plant. It's gonna be evidence. We're gonna have nice, strong plants when it's time for harvest. Get someone to publish. Yes, let's start here. And see, people don't believe that magic, quote unquote, is real, but it is. When you put those tools into action and you plant that seed and you walk away, it shows up somewhere. Some people need tools. I'm one of the people. I use my candles. I use my magical press because they work for me. You have to do what works for you, though, ladies. And so, yeah, we're gonna use this energy. And like I said, it's always it says it certainly holds the potential to provide such a rare epoch, defining inspiration of holistic oneness, but also holds an equal potential for the confusion and dissolution hinted by a waning moon in the very last minutes of Libra. So the past must be sacrificed and hearts must be softened and opened if true inspiration is to light the future. Yeah, yeah. You say in the quietness you get that inspiration. Y'all don't forget to meditate. I have not been consistent, but I will be starting back up in this season. It's important. Like I said, this is just an Astro Moon diary. I need to be creating my own, but these are on Amazon. And they tell you what placements are where. So when I draw my cards, I just write it in a date. And that way I know on that day when I pull this card what the planets were. And I keep them. So yeah, y'all, we're going to be working with a couple of books. The Wicca, Herbal Magic book. Also, we use this book for our Herb of the Week. And we won't be meeting back up for the next 2 weeks. And this is the Earth Warriors deck. This was an introduction class. Like I said, we're just getting prepared. And then we're going to take all our necessary tools and get everything into action. If you are planning on building gardening boxes, the best time to do that is the winter. But if you need to do it now, do it. It's better for you to build it yourself than going out buying them. They're kind of expensive. And then when you build it yourself, the energy is in it, and also they last longer because you get to pick and choose your wood and stuff. And so, yeah, we're going to get y'all packages out Monday. And I hope y'all enjoyed this introduction class. And we got a chicken funeral. he coming over here whispering about this chicken, so we're going to have to wrap things up, okay? I appreciate the support, ladies, and I look forward to growing with you. And this will be uploaded. I'll post it on the Patreon, and that's what it'll be. All right. Peace and power, y'all. We'll tell everybody later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Peace and
Bye.
blessings, safe
Thank
travels,
you.
everyone.
Thanks. You ready? Okay. Stop it. Why are you looking so sad? Your chicken. Oh.